Good morning. Today on Rick's Reloading Bench, Dean and I are going to give a brief introduction that will lead into the video that you're going to see shortly. And it's about checking the velocities and or ballistics on the 6.5 Creedmoor round, which is this puppy here. So having said that, I'm going to turn it over to Dean so that he can tell you about his rifle that was used in the making of this video.
Great. Thank you, Rick. This is the Howa 1500 American flag painted rifle that I got at Turner's. It actually came as a complete package, which I was really impressed because for $1,200, I'd gotten it on sale. I'm not sure, it's around $1,200, $1,300. You really get a lot for the money. And this Howa 1500 really performed well. Just a little information on the rifle. It comes with a 26-inch barrel. Comes with the muzzle brake.
It's a heavy barrel?
Yeah, it's a heavy barrel. It obviously comes with the paint scheme on it, the American flag.
That's nice.
Yeah. Also, it comes with bipod. It comes with the Nico Sterling scope on top of it, a 10-round magazine. And I was actually very impressed with the trigger because I thought the trigger would be okay, and I'd probably have to put a Timney in it or something. But honestly, this trigger's worked out really nicely. It's about a 3.5-pound brake.
No, nice.
Very nice and smooth.
You got a pistol grip on it?
Comes with a pistol grip, and I really like back here with the cheek rest and the whole attachment because it's very adjustable. I know me and Rick had adjusted that because we were both shooting it, but really once we got it in position, we could both shoot with it, adjust it at the same. So I was very impressed, and also with the scope, it came with a few accessories. You know, I know when we were setting the distance on it, it came with the little
another turret?
Another turret, and you could actually mark on the turret itself for the distance.
Oh, so once you get it set and dialed in, you can write in there 100 yards, 200 yards, 400, etc.
Yep, came with a custom one. Came with a little key for doing all the adjusting. Then also the sub MOA guarantee from Howa. So, and it's really proven to.
Now I notice this is sporting a 20 MOA scope mount. What's that good for?
Yeah, that's for when we stretch its legs to 1,000 yards.
To 1,000 yards. We need the altitude adjustment, and that's what that mount will give us.
And thanks for mentioning that, because I always forget about it. I'm like, yes, it's got the 20 MOA scope mount on it. And, you know, I know this scope is good for 500-600 yards. I don't know if it's really a 1,000-yard scope, but when I do replace it, it really is already set up for that.
Sure.
So very impressive.
Cool.
So anyways, that's everything about this Howa rifle. It's been a fantastic rifle. And with that, I guess we'll talk about the custom loads.
Okay. Being that this is Rick's Reloading Bench, of course, we're going to do our own hand loads for this. And what we selected for our brass is the Lapua 6.5 Creedmoor brass, which is a small primer hole. And it also has an undersized flash hole. So your standard small decapping pin will not work on this. You've got to make sure your dies are set up so that we'll accommodate that. And with the combination of the small rifle primer and the small flash hole, we're supposed to get really good solid ignition. So we figured we'd start off with the best brass you can get, you know. And so then after that, the primers, by the way, are that we're using currently are CCI bench rest number 4 small rifle primers, and we're thinking about perhaps switching to small rifle Magnum powers. I've heard other people, I've talked to them, and they said that they like the Magnum small rifle primers, and they are noticeably cheaper than the bench rest 4, so we may entertain that thought. The powder that we used in this, both Dean and I did some research on it. Hodgdon makes a powder called the H4350, and this seems to be by far the best powder that you can use for this particular round. And what we've done is we've experimented with starting at 40 grains and going in 0.2 grain increments up to 41 grains. So we got 40, 40.2, 40.4, 40.6, 40.8, and 41. And our intent is to try to find the sweet spot within that range that will give us the smallest extreme spread and henceforth possibly the best accuracy. The bullets that we're using are made by Hornady. They are the 140 grain ELD match bullets. And they're long and skinny, they got a nice ballistic coefficient, and they work really well. So those are the components that we used, and we've given you a brief intro on it. So let's head out to the range, and Dean and I can get this thing started. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay, here we are at the Corona Sportsman's Club. We got the 6.5 Creedmoor rifle set up. We got the chronograph set up. We're going to try out a new load and see what kind of velocities we get. All right, Dean just got through shooting a string of 5 rounds, and let's check with him on what the velocities were.
All right, Rick, on shot number 1, our velocity was 2744. Number 2 was 2866. Number 3 was 2716. Number 4 was 2872. And number 5 was 2724.
All right, that's great. Okay, all right, we're going to take a short break and let the barrel cool down, and then we'll resume. Okay, and the velocity was 2644. That's with 40.4 grains of H4350. Second shot, velocity is 2634.
I think sometime by next week I should pay off my 223.
Are you moving the rifle forward to where it needs to be?
I'm looking at the star right here.
Okay.
Kind of keep myself in there.
To pal around with. Pal. You know who uses that word a lot? It's probably his girlfriend.
All right, going for our third shot.
What was her name? The Alaskan bitch. What was her name?
Alaskan.
The Alaskan bitch. Yeah, they call her Alaskan.
Oh, Palin.
Yeah, Palin, yeah. He pals around with terrorists and shit.
All right.
I would like to fuck.
Third shot was 2643 for velocity.
I pulled her American flag bikini down.
Whoa. I can't stand it.
Yeah, she's fucked up in the head now.
Big time. Pretty as hell.
All right, fourth shot coming up. $26.40. Pretty consistent.
Let's go for it, Mo.
Mofo. You know who Mofo?
Huh?
You know who Mofo is?
Fifth and final shot on our second string.
You doing 3 or 5? You pick. You're the one that wanted the.
Velocity was 2661. All right, let's let the barrel cool down. You want to put your barrel cooler in there?
I'm gonna throw a.
Okay, we'll take a short break now. Here's our third string at 40.6. And our velocity was 2655. Don't forget your markings. Shoves it back about an inch, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Now I got back to the star.
All right. Shot number 2. And our velocity is 2613, I believe.
2673.
All right. That looks like what? 2673?
2673. Again.
That's what the last one was?
Yep.
Awesome. You got some good consistency. That tells me that we're throwing just the right charges.
Shoot and everything's touching.
Is this your fourth or fifth?
Fourth.
Fourth? Okay.
More than better. Good. Just, you know what relation means?
Yeah.
Relación?
Related, yes.
All right. Velocity was 2649. See, last week when we shot with just 40 grains, I had the chronograph too close, and we were getting some really higher velocities with a greater spread. But now a friend of ours, Lou, told us to move the chronograph up forward more. So we're getting a little bit more consistent data. Fifth shot.
But now, every little fuck up.
All right, 2663.
Now it's this.
And that concludes 3 strings. One shot at 40.2, which we didn't film. One shot at 40.4, and one string shot at 40.6. So we'll come up with some
Where did you learn
follow-up data on the 3 groups and let you know what we found.
The brakes on the fucking truck.
2628.
2628.
that? 2673. 2667.
These are flying high.
$26.54.
I see them grouping high.
Was that 5? Oh, you got
Dean,
one
I
mouth?
think you're not resting the gun on the bag. I think you're shouldering it. Are you holding the gun up?
No.
Okay, yeah, rest it on the bag.
Okay. I think my scope is off because they're
Yeah.
grouping up high. After this, I'll adjust.
$26.69.
That does it for the 5.
$26.59.
Are you throwing those powder charges or weighing them?
26.54. $26.45.
Almost as good as you.
No, no,
Almost.
no. I'll bring my gun out next week.
Saying almost. I didn't say,
You're shooting good, Mo.
I didn't say I'm better or anything. I said almost as good as you.
That was a
Compliment.
2664.
And I think that might be the last because this is a 308. So at least we got 4. Cool. That's it.
That was 5?
That was 4. This one's a 308.
Get one of mine. Is it dark?
No. Got it.
Yeah, take the one with the mark on it. That represents 41 grains.
Okay.
$26.76. Nice shooting.
Okay. That was 5.
Okay, what we've got here is a representation of the 6 groups that we shot. And I have to apologize for the 40 grain shooting because I had the chronograph too close to the rifle, as I'd mentioned earlier in the video. And that gave us some erroneous readings, which resulted in an extreme spread of 156 feet per second. So we're going to rule that one out. What do you think, Dean?
Well, it was interesting to see the spreads on the different grains that we did, because I know on the 40.2 we had the least amount of spread, but on the 40.6 with the 24 I had my best group. So that was kind of interesting. You would think that on the 40.2 my group would be a little bit better. So I don't know if that was shooter error or just it tended, at least for my rifle, to shoot the best at the 40.6 grains.
Right, at 40.6 grains, I believe you had a 3/4 inch grouping on 5 shots, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And we'd never had a grouping that came that close. So as far as I can tell, it looks like for right now, the 40.6 grains is going to be the one that we should probably stick with and start reloading more at 40.6 and see if we can continue that tight grouping.
Yeah. As we talked about earlier, Rick, we had gone back to the range and tried 40.2 and 40.6, and then again, the 40.6 shot better.
Yeah. And you have to remember, too, that it's the person doing the shooting that's going to result in the tight groups. So 40.6 for us is a sweet spot. We're going to stick with that, and we're going to do some more shooting with that, see what kind of groups we can get. So anyway, I'd like to, on behalf of Dean and myself, I'd like to thank all of you for watching this and listening and putting up with us. And we'll see you on the next film. Or I should say video.